Morgan Wex. I'm that dating coach to help you meet, attract, and marry your soulmate quickly, to be able to just show up powerfully authentic in front of men and with a man in a relationship in order to create and attract your most powerful love ever. So we're here in the Manfunnel because I hope to inspire you all to be able to gain those skills and to not get stuck on any one man. I would say one of my biggest drivers here and motivation for sharing the Manfunnel as a tool and as a way of life is because I don't want you to get stuck on any one man who is bringing pain into your life. Is anyone here in the group or watching this or on the replay, let me know, who is experiencing pain from a man in their life where their heart is being broken over and over again? Go ahead and raise your hand, give me a 1 in the chat box if this is you, if you're experiencing pain from a man in your life. Hi, Gabrielle, thanks for joining. I just sent out an email to like all of the 8,000 people that I was doing this live, and some are just asking to join now to see it. So just give me a second. I want to just let them in. Thanks for joining, Gabrielle. How are you? So good to see your beautiful face. Gabrielle is one of our Master Your Manfunnel master coaches who helps me in the VIP group where we support women pretty much around the clock on all of their urgent dating matters, and we help them to do exactly what I mentioned, show up as their most authentic, powerfully authentic selves in front of men in order to attract that strong relationship. And it really is, it sounds cliche, but it comes down to knowing yourself truly and really knowing your value and what you bring to that relationship and having that come out, you know, in everything you do, but especially your energy. But we're going to that's part of what I wanted to talk about today. Hey, Morgan, welcome. Morgan, I just approved you into the group, so thank you so much for joining. Morgan's one of those people I just mentioned that I was just approving. I don't want to get going because I just invited everyone and then have them waiting to get in if they wanted to join live. So Morgan, thanks for joining live, and welcome to the Manfunnel Facebook group where we learn how to attract higher quality men into our lives to create our most powerful love ever. Okay, so I'm just going to give a couple more minutes. Oh, now I'm watching my own live. So genius. It's like on a delay and I can't close it. Okay, I'm going to close it. Just going to give it another moment, and then I'll start, and we will talk about today. We're going to talk about why you're losing him and you don't know why. So, topic really near and dear to my heart because many of you know, Morgan, you may not know, but I dated in Manhattan for over a decade. I pounded those pavements looking for love, and I could attract a man, I could attract men, but I just could not keep them around. So that was my MO. I could attract men, but I couldn't keep them around. So the topic today is close to my heart because I have had so much pain from that anticipation where you start visualizing this man who comes into your life. You know, maybe you've been swiping or you've been out there trying to find someone or telling your friends that you're ready for a relationship or whatever it might be, and then or maybe you don't feel that you're ready, but someone comes along, right, who sparks your interest, and you get like all involved, and you weren't even meaning for this to happen in the freaking first place, and now all of a sudden you like a man, right? Can you relate to that? Can anyone relate to that scenario? Go ahead and put a 1 in the chat box. So, you know, we start to hang, I think biologically as a woman, you know, we can't help it. We get a little ahead of ourselves and we start to visualize what our life could look like with this particular person. We might start hanging our hopes on that person and our excitement starts to bubble. But at the same time, we may have these deep either fears that we're aware of or we're not as aware of that are underneath the surface, feeling like afraid that it's not going to work out. And then what happens in some sort of sick, self-fulfilling prophecy? He starts asking to hang out with us a little bit less, and we're not hearing as much from him all of a sudden. The link between the communication starts to increase, and our heart rate starts to increase. That pit inside of our stomach starts to deepen and feel heavier and heavier as we realize that this man is backing away and maybe this wasn't our person after all. And then next Friday night, after he's gone radio silent, boom, maybe he texts and says, want to come over, right? And we're torn because of course we want to go over and we miss him and we're hurt and we want this to be it. Maybe he changed his mind. Maybe he realized how crazy he was for not wanting to see us or have us in his life. So we're very torn. We want to be treated like the high value woman, but we also want to see him. So maybe we go, or maybe we don't go, and then we feel like shit and we're just yearning and wishing we were there. Or maybe we go out on a date with another man, but the whole date sucks because we're thinking about him the whole time. Okay, so I've been there many times. I had probably, 75 miniature heartbreaks in relationships dating in Manhattan. And through what I've learned now, looking back after I dove deep into personal development to figure out what was going on, what was I contributing to the lack of stability or seriousness in my relationships, right? Because the man wasn't connected with me on a deeper level, so he was able to leave me. And we're going to just get into a couple of those things. Hold on. Aha. So there's a handful of reasons, and there's probably many more that we could go through, but we are just going to go through 4 major ones today of why he is backing away, or why he backed away in the past. And number 1 was a big one for me. I'll try to think of some personal stories to interlace into these. Number 1, you had no clear intention for the relationship, and you just didn't set parameters. So you really jumped in kind of blindly to this relationship. You were excited about him. You had hot chemistry, and you thought maybe that hot chemistry would trump some of the other things that might have been missing there, or that maybe he kind of verbalized in some way that he wasn't ready for a relationship, but you didn't necessarily listen. You just knew that it was so intense and so hot, great chemistry, great banter, great hot texts going back and forth, that you thought, oh, I can win him over. I can win him over with how awesome I am, with my intellect or my sex or my beauty or whatever it is. And so then what happens? We get attached. Our heart starts gripping on to him or the prospect of who he could be and what the relationship could be. And a lot of time can go by. He never really commits. He follows through on his word, perhaps, of not being able to have that relationship, and you're still hoping and wondering and hurting yourself over and over again. And this could go on for years. This is what I call an imaginary relationship, and I had many of them. I'll tell you a quick one. So one of them, I had met somebody out, and he was okay, a little short, but that wasn't part of my criteria. And we just had some good chemistry, so he took me out on a date, and it was like such an awesome day. We had so much fun. I ended up going back to his place, and I didn't have sex with him or anything, but we hooked up, and we just I was there for the whole weekend. I was like, oh my gosh, this is my new boyfriend. I felt so comfortable with him. It was wonderful. And I totally legitimately thought that was my new boyfriend, because this is how I used to get boyfriends. I would just meet someone, and then boom, I would just be with them from that day. Without thinking about it. I would let the man move the relationship forward or go at his pace. And just so you know, a man can ram a relationship into a brick wall, but that's not what happened here. What happened here was a qualifying mistake on my part, because this person was of a specific like religion where he could only marry someone in his very specific sect of religion, and it's like a specific, almost cult-like community in New York City. Okay, so here I was moving already in life. I'd spent pretty much the weekend with this person. We totally clicked, had the best mental connection, physical as well. And here I was totally in it, thinking that this was my next serious relationship, right? Well, boy, was I wrong, and I basically broke my own heart. But instead of backing away when I kind of got the news of the whole cultural situation, instead of backing away and going to find someone who could actually like love me and wanted to move and be with me and stuff, instead I continued to see him for many, many, many years, hoping, praying that this could actually turn into something, because I was, thought, I had XYZ to offer in the relationship. Whereas really, had I truly had value in myself, I would have walked my ass out the door and found someone who was actually available and wanted what I wanted with me and on my timeline. These are all the three things that I want you to have before you jump in with someone blindly like me. So number one reason why he's backing away is because you set no clear intention for the relationship in the first place. You're not hearing what his intention is, and you're afraid to even verbalize what your intentions are because you're afraid you're going to scare him away. So having wishy-washy intention is going to equal wishy-washy results, and not just wishy-washy results, painful results. Okay? Has anyone had an imaginary relationship where they stayed in way too long? I would say that this might have lasted. I have to ask like my best friend, Leanne, who's in this group, but I would have to say this went on for about 5 years, where I was breaking my own heart with this particular guy because we had one amazing weekend or something, and then we were like a little bit in love, but it was an impossible relationship. Couldn't happen for me. So yeah, so I broke my own heart for 5 years, and it was extremely painful. Morgan said, story of the past 4 years of my life. So imaginary relationship. Okay, Morgan, well, listen, I don't want you to keep breaking your own heart the way I did for so many years. Ange, I miss you. Hey, Marilyn, thanks for joining. Gabrielle said that she was the queen of imaginary relationship. I'm pretty sure that I was the queen of imaginary relationships, but we'll have to compare notes, because this was like, my first one was in college of like 2 years. That was extremely painful. And then, there were so many that it's hard for me to just remember off the top of my head, but I have to we'll have to compare notes on that, Gabrielle, and we can then come back and do a live on our imaginary relationships. But I don't want you Manfunnelers stuck in imaginary relationships. This is probably the number one reason why I'm just so passionate about the Manfunnels, because I held on to these men in my heart for so many years, and I allowed them to like beat my heart to a bloody pulp for so many years, where I thought I could convince them or change their mind, right? But now I know if you just move on and you continue to look with intention, right? And set that intention, make sure that they want what you want on your timeline, and qualify men with it properly instead of just jumping in blindly like I did, you will find another man. There is always another opportunity to fall in love, and there's usually an even better, well-matched man right around the corner. So that's number one. Number two, you're guarded, okay? Hold on a second. Here, the number two reason why you're losing him and you don't know why, okay? Here's why. You're guarded, you don't know it, and you're unable to connect with an emotionally available man. So the reason why, and I've talked about this in the group before, but this is huge. Everybody that comes to me, you and even myself, are more guarded than we realize that we are. And if we're attracting unavailable men, or emotionally unavailable men, or just men who are unavailable, maybe married, or you're interested in men that are of like extreme age differences where it makes no sense, or a man who's thousands of miles away on another continent. You know, a lot of this is for our own safety because we're guarded, but we don't realize how guarded we are, okay? And it's very hard to figure out what level of guardedness you have on your own. But the symptom of being guarded is attracting emotionally unavailable men. So until you understand your own guardedness and why you are guarded, right, which is due to fears, either fears you're aware of or fears that you are unaware of, okay, until you're able to dissolve these fears and remove these guards, you will attract men who are not available for that real, pure, and healthy relationship with you. So that's the number 2 reason why a Manfunnelers, you're losing him and you don't know why. Probably because he was not available in the first place, and he may have been attracted to you because he can sense and read. Men have a literal radar for this. They can't verbalize this, okay? So a man's not going to say this to you. He's not going to walk up to you in the bar and say, ooh, you look so emotionally unavailable. You're a safe place for me to be because I won't have to have a relationship with you. I won't get hurt because you're emotionally unavailable. Right? A man just knows that you're emotionally unavailable. You basically become a victim to him. Whereas when you're shining your heart's light because you've unveiled the guards around your heart, this is like when your heart has this, it's almost like, you know, okay, forgive me here. I'm not into superheroes, but my son is, okay? So like Batman, the Batman light when there's a problem in Gotham, and like the bat light shines and they need Batman to come. When your heart is unguarded, your heart shines out like that light into Gotham, and then men come to it like a moth to a flame, okay? And it's a really cool process. So if you're having a really hard time finding men to date at all, one of the reasons is the energy that you're projecting, and your heart light is dull. It's not really able to shine because it's guarded, okay? So moving on, you're losing him and you don't know why. Number 3, you are not showing up as a high value mate and you have no idea, and I mean this with love, you have no idea how to, because you don't know what is giving off that signal to him that makes you seem like a high value mate, which inspires his urges to want to claim you and make you his. You don't know what those little subtleties are in the relationship that are demonstrating to him through your words, through your actions, and through your energy that you are not worthy, okay, of his love. And when you're giving him too many of these signals, or enough signals of these over time through your words, actions, and energy, then he starts to believe you. Eventually he starts to believe you. And why are our words and our actions and our energy coming off this way? It's due to an unnurtured deep belief that we're holding, either a limited belief or that belief that, you know, just not enough belief in your innate value. You're not grounded in your value, what you bring to the table in that relationship, which brings me to number 4. You don't have a strong sense of your value in the relationship, and it's just seeping out in all these ways. It's crucial to know how to communicate your needs to a man in a way that he can hear them, and also to inspire him to keep stepping up to be the man that you want him to be. And when you're able to communicate in this way, so it's through the words part is very important. Certain ways to communicate, knowing when to soften your boundaries so you don't come across like a diva who's jaded, and then, or when to express the boundaries so you can shape what you need. In between those 2 ways of setting boundaries is the sweet spot. And when you're able to communicate this way to a man, he wants to step up to the plate. It inspires him to want to do those things and become a better man for you. And that's what a man wants to do. Believe it or not, he wants to find, it's that woman that he finds who inspires him to be a better man. That is when he wants to claim that woman and be around her because it feels good to him to have that level of challenge. But it does have to be done in the right way. So those are the 4 reasons, 4 of the reasons that I'm just going to share today about why he's backing away or why he backed away in the past. And if this is relatable to you and you don't want to spend another day of your life, okay, pounding that pavement or throwing that spaghetti against the wall and hoping it sticks, if you're looking for a way to move forward in your life and your dating processes with tools that will make a radical difference for you in your love life, where you're able to create a set of high quality men in your life versus having limited options, a set of men, a set of higher quality men. And then when you are interested in a man, having him be interested in you back. So even if you're unable to create that whole huge man funnel right away, sometimes it takes some of my clients some time to be able to cultivate and shine that heart light all the way out. So even while she's shining it halfway, and there's maybe a little bit less options than there will be after she's really ready to fully shine it, she still wants to be able, you don't have to be in your perfect heart light space to find love. All of you, and I want you to know this, are ready for love right now. This doesn't have to be something that takes a year. Okay, this type of work can, some people shift immediately and they're just sort of having ahas right away and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that, which I get a lot, but they're able to shift super fast, right? But if you're shining your heart light halfway and you've got a couple candidates, each of these candidates matter, and you want to show up as your most powerfully authentic, attractive, and magnetic self. And who wouldn't want to start having the ability and tools to do that right now? So the man that you choose is choosing you. And the man who's in front of you, you know how to build that deep, long-lasting bond with him. So if you're interested in learning more, as you're aware of, my Master Your Man Funnel Bootcamp doors are now open. The early bird price is going on for a limited time. So if you would like to have a conversation, have a camp decision call with me this week, I'm going to put my calendar link for a brief 10 or 15 minute chat. We can just get to know each other if you feel your situation is super unique and you want to see if camp will help you, then let's get on a call and chat. I'd love to get to know you. I'm so looking forward to the start of camp. Classes start at the end of the month and can't wait to see you there. So go ahead, I'm going to post my link. Please make yourself that appointment and we can get to know each other on a deeper level. Thank you so much for joining my live. I love seeing all you man funnelers. Love all you so much. Let's see if there's any other questions that I missed. Before I sign off, Gabrielle said, thank God I didn't end up with Jake. My funnel is so popping right now with infinitely better men. Had to do the work though. So yes, Gabrielle is saying today that she's reached the highest level of self-love that she's been at in her life. And through that, the candidates showing up for her are the highest quality that she's had in her life. And it's so wonderful to watch all of this go on with her man funnel. Gabrielle says, highly finesse boundaries are one of the most crucial skills you'll be supported in developing the man funnel. So important for long-term relationship success. Yes, and Gabrielle is incredible at this. So can't wait to have you all get to know her. She'll be helping me teach some of the classes. She says, well, we're teaching you to heal in the presence of men. You don't have to be healed or ready. The process will support you through it. Yes, we actually utilize the dating process to figure out what we need to nourish inside of ourselves in order to grow and become our most authentic self in the presence of a man. So, you know, I like to say that women hate to think that you need tools or strategies and such for dating because they just want to be themselves. Well, the tools and strategies that we give, they're not really about the man. They're all about helping you deepen the relationship with yourself. And then that ultimately just makes you that most magnetic version of you. And take care. Thanks for joining. Mwah.